is Ashley. Hi. Wish I could do another session. I've been in so much pain, but I don't have extra money. Dang it. Okay, so I would recommend reading the emotion code book and doing it for yourself. Read the emotion code book and do it for yourself. Highly, highly recommend it if you can't afford it. Awesome, Ashley, let's do it. So if you want to go ahead and tell me, actually, are you okay to go live with me? Are you okay to go live? I would love to do that. Does that work? Connecting. How exciting. Hi.
Hi, I think I'm connected.
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect. Have you had a session before?
No, I never have.
Okay, perfect. So, let's go ahead and just get your basic information. So, Ashley, 33. And then what are we working on today?
I'm trying to think what my main thing would be. Grief.
Grief. I am so sorry to hear that. Is it about a loved one? Was it something recent or something you've just been holding on to a long time?
Trying to turn my camera on. There we go.
There you go.
Hi. Yeah, so I would say the loss of my grandmother was my main thing. And then also just, like different forms of grief, breakup and, career changes, things like that.
You've had a lot of change and it's just like grieving what could have been.
Yeah, kind of. I feel like it's like a lot of inner child grieving.
Okay. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate that grief then? 1 being the lowest and 10 being the most severe?
Probably about a 7.
A 7. So pretty hard. Okay, we'll just have a quick moment of silence and then we'll get to it.
Okay.
All right, can I act as proxy for you? What is the biggest trapped emotion release now that is causing this grief? Maybe out of 1, 3, 5. Fear. When did this pretend? 2020, 19, 18, 17, age 17. Do we need to know more? Okay, let's go ahead and release that. And you're 33, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Did we correct that? What's the biggest trapped emotion release now that's causing this grief? Maybe even 2, 4, 6. Unworthy. When did this pretend? 2020, 19, 18, 17, 16, age 16. Do we need to know more? Okay. Let's go ahead and release that. Did we release that? What's the biggest trapped emotion release now that's causing this grief? Maybe 2, 4. Guilt. When did this pretend? 10, 9, 8, 7, age 7. Do we need to know more? Okay. Let's go ahead and release that. Do you recognize any of these emotions so far?
I'm trying to listen to the ages mainly. You said 17 and that was a big one.
Mm-hmm.
And then you said 7 and I'm trying to think I could see that as well.
Okay. What is we'll just keep going. So what is the biggest trapped emotion release now that's causing this grief? Maybe even 2, 4, 6. Worthless. When did this pretend? 20, 20, 19, 18, 17, age 17. We need to know more. Okay. Let's go ahead and release that. Did we correct that? What's the biggest trapped emotion release now that's causing this grief? Maybe even 2, 4. Anger. When did this pretend? 20, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 17, age 15. We need to know more. Okay. Let's go ahead and release that. Did we release that? What's the biggest trapped emotion release now that's causing this grief? Maybe 2, 4. Anger. When did this pretend? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Age 4. Do we need to know more? Okay. Let's go ahead and release that. Did we correct that? What's the biggest trapped emotion release now that's causing this grief? Maybe out of 1, 3, 5. Horror. When did this pretend? 10, 9, 8, 7, age 7. Do we need to know more? Okay. Let's go ahead and release that. Did we release that? What's the biggest trapped emotion release now that's causing this grief? Maybe even 2, 4, 6. Shame. When did this 10, 20, 30, 20, 7, 6, age 26? We need to know more. Okay, let's go ahead and release that. Did we correct that? What's the biggest trapped emotion release now that's causing this grief? Maybe even 2, 4, 6. Ooh, inherited. So inherited emotions, actually inherited shock. So inherited trapped emotions are basically like at conception, your parents not only pass on their DNA, but they can also pass on their emotional baggage as well. So thanks, mom and dad. So inherited shock. Who did you get this from? Your mom? No. So your dad, his mom's dad, his mom's dad. How many generations total is this? 1 to 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. So 6 generations total on your dad's side. So this is like dad's, 6 generations up. So do we need to know more? Okay, so then we're going to hold the intention to release this from not only you, but the person who started it, and then everybody else down the line. And this also includes kids if you have them and beyond. So did we correct that? What is the biggest trapped emotion release now that's causing this grief? Maybe even out of 1, 3. Discouragement. When did this 10, 20, 20, 19, age 19? Do we need to know more? Okay, let's go ahead and release that. Did we correct that? What's the biggest trapped emotion release now that's causing this grief? Okay. Go ahead and take some really big deep breaths. Stand up, walk around. Kind of move those shoulders around, move that neck around.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, it kind of feels like I'm like floating.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Kind of like you just feel lighter and more like lifted.
Yeah, almost like dizzy.
Almost dizzy. Interesting. That's actually a very common symptom or a result that people say. Some people say that they feel tingly. Some people they just feel like kind of lightheaded or dizzy. Mm-hmm. But super cool. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you rate that grief that you feel?
Probably about a 4.
Yay! So we almost cut it in half.
Yes.
Sweet. So again, that's all we do. We just release trapped emotions and you feel better. So
okay, that's interesting. I've never had this done before. It's very interesting.
Awesome. I'm glad that I was able to work with you.
Yeah, me too. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Is it okay if I put this on my YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So like the ages, that's when these emotions were trapped inside of us, basically? Or
yeah. That's the best explanation that I can give you is yes. However, a lot of the times when, like, for example, like if your grandma died like a year ago and you feel like really emotional about it, and it's almost like all of the events leading up to that moment can cause you to have a bigger reaction than your average person. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I was waiting to see if my age when she passed away came up. It didn't, but I just wondered like if it would.
It could, and that's the thing. Sometimes when and that's why I personally feel like the emotion code and body code is so mysterious to me still, is because it's not necessarily the emotion code, it's more of like how your body works. Sometimes some emotions are not ready to be released at a specific time. I know some people, like, we're not able, like, for example, if we go through a heart wall, I actually go through a lot of childhood stuff before we even get into adulthood stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And you said 17 and 7 a lot, and those were both very like significant just for me. So it makes sense.
Yeah. And sometimes there's just so many layers that you have to like literally go through the whole layer, like the whole onion, before you can get to the core of like the pain or the issue. And sometimes some people's issues are at surface level and some people's it's like in the middle. And then some people it's like after sessions and sessions of releasing. So
Right. Okay. Well,
cool.
appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.